Tonight at 6, a rare look inside the USS Cobia's dry dock. We'll take you aboard the historic World War II submarine in Door County to see how repairs are going.
We really focus on the remembrance. Each step you're climbing is for a firefighter.
Plus the Packers are on the road, but Lambeau will be busy this weekend. We look ahead to the annual 9/11 stair climb. And a local mother whose son is recovering after a serious crash speaks out.
Just to know that, like, you don't know if they're going to make it the 30 minutes.
Tonight, how the community is stepping up to support them. Tonight, our Sports Showdown Game of the Week takes us to Appleton North High School, a game you can watch on TV 32. We're now 1 hour away from kickoff between the Lightning and the Hortonville Polar Bears. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Nina Sperano, here with Chief Meteorologist Cameron Moreland. And Cameron, it is a really good night for football. It's beautiful out here. We got a little bit of a breeze. It's nice and warm. So far, so good.
So far, so good, but it could be a close call for areas south and west of Lake Winnebago as we head through the evening for some of those high school football games. I'll show you the radar coming up in just a second. But right now, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful here on the north side of Appleton. We've got a mixture of clouds and stars, and it is dry. Temperature-wise across the state, we've got 50s up north, upper 70s down south. Most of us right now are sitting in the 60s and lower 70s. The radar shows scattered pockets of showers and thunderstorms across the state right now. The most concerning pocket of showers and thunderstorms for us is located across Marquette County and western Waushara County, but everything is kind of moving north and west, not north and east. We actually had a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Marquette County about an hour and a half ago. The high-res future radar shows those showers and thunderstorms continuing to push more towards Wausau and Stevens Point than the Fox Valley, so I think most games will go off without a hitch this evening. Just a slight chance for a shower or a thunderstorm, but once again, I think almost every game will have no issues at all, as temperatures will be in the upper 60s at kickoff. And with sunset, Nina, at 6:53, this will be the first set of games this season where sunset is before kickoff. So yeah, Friday night lights.
There's a lot of people banking on the fact that there's not going to be rain tonight for sure, Cameron, so we're happy for that for sure. All right, Cameron, thank you. We also got a lot of news across the region that will impact you and your neighbors, including in Ashwaubenon, where the Railroad Museum is getting ready to reveal a major project. But we start in Sturgeon Bay, where the USS Cobia is getting some major repairs done. Tonight, we're giving you a rare look inside the dry dock to see how maintenance is coming along for the historic World War II submarine.
I'm your Door County neighborhood reporter, Hannah Lopez, and usually you'd have to be in Manitowoc to see the USS Cobia up close. But on Friday, I got to see it up close and out of the water at Fincantieri Base Shipbuilding.
The USS Cobia was nearly a decade behind schedule for inspection and cleaning, having last slipped into dry dock about 30 years ago.
It was past due.
But Wisconsin Maritime Museum Executive Director Kevin Cullen says this old war vessel's held up pretty well.
For us to be able to preserve this, it's vital that we actually take care of it as regularly as we can.
One of the biggest issues they did find in dry dock, an invasive species. Nearly 3 tons of quagga and zebra mussels had attached to the hull.
We actually had inspecting underwater in the river to be able to see how much mussel growth there was, and it was inches thick. And so we knew there was 100% mussel coverage, so we couldn't tell the condition of the hull.
Casey Lautenbach, the project manager at Fincantieri Base Shipbuilding, says working on the Cobia is a meaningful project.
I remember going back in 5th grade down and visiting the vessel and thinking it was so cool. And when I went back last June to do it, it was that giddiness then of a kid being able to walk through it.
Now he's looking forward to sharing that experience with his son.
I'm going down to the museum with my son in December for a field trip for school. So it'll be a lot of fun to go down and see it back there, fresh coat, and be able to take kids on it again and relive that.
The work being done here to preserve the sub cost $1.5 million, funded through grants and community donations.
The Wisconsin Maritime Museum says once the USS Cobia is back in Manitowoc, it will only be a few days before you can step aboard the newly renovated historic landmark. In Sturgeon Bay, Hannah Lopez, NBC 26.
Hannah, thank you. In Green Bay, a former school board member is facing criminal charges. Court records show Koo Lee is facing counts of election fraud and false swearing, both felonies. Lee resigned in May after community members questioned if he lived inside district borders, which is required of a board member. Lee was elected to his school board seat in April of 2024. He's due for an initial court appearance in November. Well, the Packers are out of town this weekend, but Lambeau Field will still be busy. That's because tomorrow, people from around the world will gather to honor the hundreds of first responders who were killed on 9/11.
I'm your Green Bay neighborhood reporter, Jessica Goska, at Lambeau Field, where Saturday morning, more than 2,000 people will take part in a stair climb to remember the fallen first responders of 9/11. In honor of the 343 first responders who lost their lives in the September 11th attack, people from around the world will take part in Green Bay's 13th annual Remembrance Climb Saturday. They'll scale the equivalent of 110 floors, symbolizing the height of each twin tower.
We really focus on the remembrance. Each step you're climbing is for a firefighter, and each step you make is in remembrance of those individuals that gave their life.
Those unable to complete the full climb can participate in part or opt to spectate the event. Climbers can still register for the event ahead of the 9 a.m. start time Saturday. In Green Bay, Jessica Goska, NBC 26.
Earlier this month, a crash here at this intersection took one life and changed another forever. I'm your Oshkosh neighborhood reporter, Claire Peterson, learning more about the 14-year-old boy who's still recovering from his injuries and his community that has his back.
This is the day he was born.
Looking at pictures of Tanya Schmidt's son, Carter,
this is all four of the boys.
You see a normal teenager.
He's just got the biggest heart.
But on September 7th, his life turned upside down.
And I said, okay, how bad is it? And he said, it's bad, Tanya. I said, but how bad?
Carter was riding in his dad's truck when a motorcycle hit the passenger side where he was sitting. He was taken to Theta Care before being airlifted to Milwaukee.
You could not recognize him at Theta. Like his whole face was covered in blood, the whole down his neck, the hair, all of it.
Among other injuries, Carter had broken ribs, a collapsed lung, and a shattered spleen.
Looking at him, like, it was the worst feeling. Just to know that, like, you don't know if they're going to make it to 30 minutes.
While Carter continues to recover in the ICU, his community has stepped up.
I just think that's normal Wisconsin people.
Carter worked at Cattail Supper Club in Larson for less than a week. But when the owner, Kathy Davey, heard of the accident, she didn't hesitate to help.
So even though he was only with us 2 days, once you're here, you're part of our work family.
Cattails is donating 20% of this month's gift card sales, and they're collecting cash for the family.
We know Carter has a very long road of recovery.
And it didn't take long for other businesses to follow suit.
Anything that we can do to help, we will do.
Schmalz Landscaping in Appleton is one of 9 companies matching donations up to $500.
You know, it could have been our kid.
It's support that Tanya wasn't expecting.
It's been huge.
But overall, she says she hopes Carter's story reminds people to always choose kindness.
All of our choices have an outcome. Just choose wisely.
The Schmidt family also has a GoFundMe if you'd like to donate that way. And Cattails is looking for more businesses to offer matching donations. All that info can be found on NBC26.com. In Oshkosh, I'm Claire Peterson, NBC 26.
This is an honor and kind of unexpected, very frankly.
Tonight, Appleton North High School is bringing back their Hall of Fame. That means some local legends will finally be honored for their contributions. Noah Cornelius joins me with that story next. We're back at Appleton North High School, the site of our Showdown Game of the Week that you can watch on TV 32 at 7 o'clock. Joining me now is our Appleton neighborhood reporter, Noah Cornelius. And Noah, this is a big game. We got something big happening at halftime tonight.
Yeah, here's a fun fact I learned about Appleton North. They didn't have an active Hall of Fame for a long time, and they also didn't have an induction ceremony. So many of their legendary players actually went to the wayside. But tonight, the school's legends are finally getting their flowers.
Some days are good days and other days are tough days, but just keep working.
In the Fox Cities, Paul Engen's name is etched in history.
Well, it's an honor. It really is.
Engen's career spans 6 decades, and he was inducted into the State Hall of Fame in 1998.
This is an honor and kind of unexpected, very frankly.
The school even named their football field after him. But for Appleton North, that wasn't enough. I spoke with Appleton North's principal, Nate Werner. He tells me Appleton North's Hall of Fame induction ceremony had gone idle for a few years. But now that ceremony returns during halftime of tonight's game against Hortonville. And Engen will be joined by other Lightning legends, like boys and girls soccer head coach Sarah Hagan.
I never had this on my, bingo card, so to speak.
After a sterling career at North, where she was a 3-time All-State honoree, Hagan went on to win a championship in the UWSL, the highest level of women's soccer in the U.S. But even after all of that, Hagan is just humbled to be a part of her school's history.
To be honest, I didn't know that there was one, and to get the call up, especially being inducted alongside Coach Paul Engen, who was here when I was here, that's a great honor.
The more I learn about these two being inducted and everybody else being inducted, I can't imagine how their friends and family must feel being up in those stands watching it happen.
Such a long time coming, and truly an honor for them, for sure.
Oh, truly an honor.
Thank you so much for that information, Noah. All right, and don't forget, you can watch this game if you can't make it out here tonight to Appleton North High School on TV 32. Ted Stefaniak and John Mino will be on the call, and Noah, of course, will be live at halftime. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. And so far, so good with this weather. It has been a beautiful evening, a little bit of breeze just where you want it in camp. Hopefully it'll hold up for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I think most of us will be spared rain this evening, but that's not going to be the case for this final weekend of summer. Your 7-day forecast is next.